Hi Tigers, Sergeant Centeno. Today I'm going to talk about intrinsic versus extrinsic motivation, a guide to unlocking your why. So why do we do anything? There are two main reasons that drive an individual to perform or change certain behaviors. One, because we want to, or we feel like it, or two, because we have to. I like this comic of Calvin and Hobbes because Calvin could be operating his business for one or two reasons. One, because he really likes to and wants to give people swift kicks in the butt. Or two, because he needs money and is capitalizing on one of his skills of giving people swift kicks in the butt. Our daily decisions and actions in life can be a combination of both our intrinsic and extrinsic motivators. So let's go over what the difference between the two are. Here's my intro slide. So we're going to go over these three things: difference between intrinsic and extrinsic, mindset changes, and sparking intrinsic motivators in yourself and others. If anyone has ever read a Sherlock story or watched a movie or show based on Sherlock Holmes' character, you discover one very curious thing about him. He doesn't solve cases for money. He doesn't solve cases for fame. He doesn't solve cases for people because he doesn't really like people. He solves cases because it's his purpose. He has to solve cases to be happy. Without it, he doesn't have purpose. And in the stories, he delves into depression and drug use when he doesn't have anything to solve. The drugs are not a solution for any kind of boredom. This is just from the story, Sherlock Holmes. But it is his intrinsic motivator to figure out problems. So intrinsic motivation is the act of doing something without any obvious external rewards. There's no reward of fame, money, attention, acceptance from others. You do something because you find it enjoyable. It gives you purpose and you're moved by it. On the right, I identified three of my personal intrinsic motivators. I am motivated by freedom of thought, freedom to say and write anything I feel like. So that is something that I value and it pushes me forward creatively. I am also motivated by self-productivity. So whether I have a full checklist of things to do or whether I am just wasting away and bored without things to do. So productivity motivates me, and curiosity also motivates me to playfully think of ideas to express myself creatively. Here are some other examples of intrinsic motivators. This is not an all-encompassing list, so there are a lot more examples of what goals and what drives people internally to better themselves, to define meaning in life. These are just a few. So if you think about really successful people, someone like Bill Gates, he could be a combination of several intrinsic motivation techniques. So when he was young, he was motivated by mastery. He wanted to learn how to code. Then that turned into innovation. He wanted to create something for the masses, right? And then eventually it turned into philanthropy. So now he is using his experience, what he created, and the money he made from that to give back and find better solutions for the world. So you'll see this a lot in people that are driven by success. And a lot of times you think they're driven externally, but really it's internal, something inside of them that keeps them pushing forward. So extrinsic motivators are, extrinsic motivation is behavior that is driven by external rewards, something outside of you, outside of the person. Some examples are money, fame, praise, awards, attention. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with any of these, We're social beings. So attention and acceptance from others is an important aspect to our survival. We're also living in the 21st century, so money is an important aspect to our survival. These are things that we need. I'm just saying there are sometimes things outside of us that overshadow what our true happiness is, what's going to make us grateful to pursue every day. And we shouldn't let our extrinsic motivators overshadow all of our intrinsic goals and our dreams and our passions. Find what you love about work. So let's talk about where we work and what we do at work. I know a lot of times your supervisors, your leaders, they want you to love what you do, to really find passion in that and want to be a lifer, right? They want you to stay doing it and love it so much that you never want to leave. I'll be frank, the office won't always be the place where we pursue all of our passions or we get the most gratification from. But there are ways in which we can key on what we love about the job, certain things that we love about our work that we can continue to use to motivate ourselves. I've been an analyst since 2005, and let me tell you, I did not always love it. Little by little, I found things that I loved about the career field. Like, I love writing. I've always loved writing, and I love writing even in a professional capacity. I like critical thinking, and I like training others. So those three things I've loved about being an analyst, and I wouldn't give it up for the world. It motivates me to want to be better in all three of those aspects. So when you're thinking about how you can learn to love what you're doing, think about not what you want to accomplish, what you can accomplish. It's what do you want to accomplish. That's what I meant, sorry. So you can do a lot of things, but are you pursuing what you really want to accomplish? So think about your goals, your short-term goals and your long-term goals. What if you want to stay in the military, if you want to be a career airman for the next 20 years, what kind of airman do you want to be? Not what kind of airman can you be, because it can be a lot of things. You can add a lot of things to your EPRs, and you can add a lot of like things I've done as an NCO, things I've done as a senior NCO. But what do you want to do? Do you want to be a career analyst? What kind of analyst do you want to be? Do you want to be the analyst that focuses on one thing and becomes that expert for something really important? If that's what you want to do, if that's what moves you to be the best, the most masterful expert at that one target? Or do you want to be the analyst that thinks of innovative and new ideas to get after the target, to think about the target differently in a new way that people haven't done before, and to bring that forward and share your insight, your ideas. You don't have to be just one type of analyst. You can be a combination of all those. But it's all about asking yourself, do I really want to go down this road? Do I really want to be this type of person? If you want to be a first sergeant one day because you love taking care of others, even as an E3, think about everything you're doing in your career that will get you to your purpose. If your purpose is to be a first sergeant, how can I be the best first frontline supervisor I can be so that one day I can be the best first sergeant I can be? So those are the kind of questions to spark your intrinsic motivation internally. These are things to ask yourself. On the day-to-day, what gets you up in the morning eager to take on the day? It can be little things like today I'm going to put out, I'm going to finish 3 of my tasks and I'm going to do the best I can at those 3 things. Or today I'm going to go and try to stand up on a surfboard and I'm going to try as much as I can so that one day I can stay standing on a surfboard, right? So find those things that spark joy, that bring you happiness. So that's all I have, Tigers. This was my presentation on internal intrinsic motivators or external extrinsic motivators. I have no judgment towards anyone who measures success based on external rewards. It's just a fact of life. It's the reality of living in a social and material world. I just hope there's a balance within everyone for having your own personal passions and goals on top of what you have to pursue to earn a living. If you don't have a laundry list of intrinsic motivators yet, this is just the start of your thinking of the questions you can ask yourself. What makes me really happy? What do I want to pursue? What kind of person do I want to be? So good luck. I hope you learned the meaning behind intrinsic motivation and how to search for what makes you happy internally. Thanks.